Today from Consumers Energy, Senior Vice President of Transformation and Engineering, Tonya Berry. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, nice to have you back. The last time Tonya was on our show was via Zoom during the pandemic, so nice to have you here in person.
Yeah, good to be here in person.
Yeah.
Like my first time here, so I'm loving it. Like I love this, it's fabulous.
It's great to have you here.
Yes.
So, transformation and engineering. Wow, that sounds like a couple of different things.
Yes.
A lot of different things.
Yes.
The big area that you are Senior Vice President over.
Yeah, it's a mouthful in title. It feels a lot heavy in responsibility, but I'll break it down for you on what that means. So when you think about my area of responsibility, it includes gas engineering, so our gas side of the business, electric distribution, so that's wires. If you think about supply, so how we supply energy, which can include generation and how we buy and sell the markets, and then renewables. So I get to manage, build, and acquire our renewables. So as we're transitioning to clean energy coming off our coal facilities, I get to work with my team thinking about the next generation of energy, solar, wind, battery, and all of those things.
Yeah, energy, it's big news today because we've really got a lot going on in Michigan. We've got these battery plants that are springing up. We've got electric vehicles that
Yes.
will soon be dominating the roads. We've got all kinds of commitments by Consumers Energy to be out of the coal business, to be in renewable energy primarily. And you're giving yourself deadlines of when you want to accomplish all this.
Yes, in the next 10 to 20 years, we'll be clean and green and lean.
And in the next 5 years, you,
Yes.
You just recently introduced your reliability roadmap. And everyone's no secret, we have power outages when we have severe weather
Yes.
in Michigan. Both winter and spring, summer, and fall. It could happen anytime.
Anytime. You know, number one, our job is to keep the lights on for our customers. You know, and we know we have not been doing the best job of that. We've been listening to our customers, and we've been thinking about this. We've been watching our weather get more severe. We've been seeing more wind events on the system in a very more severe way. And what we've really been thinking about is how do we serve our customers, one, so they don't lose power, and if and when they do, how do we get them back on faster?
Yeah, so the wind typically, or ice, takes the power lines down or takes the tree limbs down, which takes the power lines
Yes.
down. And then you've got line workers that in severe weather are out trying to restore power. That's a tough job. I salute line workers.
You know, let me say this. I salute all of our co-workers that actually go out to restore power. So it is not only our linemen and women, it's our dispatchers, it's our contact center. It's actually, maybe you've even seen, I was here in Jackson, you've seen our co-workers that sit on live wires until we can come de-energize those wires. And so it takes thousands of people to restore power when we need to. And I just want to say to all of my co-workers, thank you for your service in doing that.
I'll join you in that as well. And as a way to salute all those workers, we actually have you brought a video that showcases what life is like for a line worker.
Yes.
We have a day in the life.
A day in the life.
A day in the life. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
To get started on the right foot, your mornings need power. And while you're still hitting snooze, Cleve has already been hard at work making sure you have that power. He's a Consumers Energy line worker, and this is how he powers your day.
The start of the day is usually firing up the computer. That's where we have all of our jobs.
The first job on his computer is from a customer who only has power to half his home.
Yeah, I'm not going to mess with electricity, so.
Yeah, good call. First thing I do when I pull up is kind of look for any obvious signs of what could have caused a power outage or maybe there's some recent excavation in the ground, and then touching base with the customer too, getting their side of the story, and then you can really start putting pieces of the puzzle together.
After confirming the issue,
All right, I think we found the source, so.
Cleve quickly locates the problem spot. Since it's underground, 811 will be called to mark all utilities.
So this is an emergency for us, so they'll have 3 hours to respond.
Then a crew will come out to excavate and make the repairs. In the meantime, Cleve has more jobs to get to.
You could be doing little power outages here, and then the next thing you got a crazy carpool accident where the primary is still hot, people could be trapped inside the car, the police have the road shut down, so really just trying to get prepared for any scenario.
Fortunately, his next job isn't a car pole accident, but a call about power that is blinking on and off in a customer's home. Cleve starts by addressing the biggest cause of power problems in Michigan.
Trees grow up, touch the line, grow into the line, and over time, can cause issues.
There are so many trees in Michigan, Consumers Energy spends $100 million per year trimming them. Next, Cleve gets in his bucket to check the equipment on the pole.
So I was changing out those connections there. I actually did find a connection that was fairly loose and even a bit corroded.
With the corrosion cleaned, connection tightened, and customer notified, it's on to the next job.
Basically going to be taking all this open wire down and replacing it with brand new wire. On big storms and stuff, when winds come through, it really does make a difference, especially over time. The more of this old wire that gets taken out and the new wire gets put back in, the more reliable our source becomes.
After lending a hand to improve reliability and giving the next generation of line workers a few tips,
That'll be fine, you just got to cut that lashing.
Cleve is off again to the next job on his list.
Essentially, I look at all those jobs as an issue for somebody, and if I can go out there and fix that issue and make a happy customer, that's awesome. That's a great feeling for me.
So the next time you're getting ready for your day, remember all the it takes to make your possible.
Awesome. So salute to all Consumers Energy employees who put the lights back on and turn our coffee pots back on. One of the things, I know you hear this, Tonya, is why don't you bury the wires? Then the wind wouldn't blow them down.
We do hear that. And actually, as part of our reliability roadmap, that is part of our plan.
Okay.
So we have a plan to go through and be strategic in the way in which we underground. Now, we can't underground everything, but the good news is over time we have found ways to underground at a lower cost. Before the technology got better, methods got better, it was incredibly expensive to do. Now we found ways, and we're building a workforce so we can go through and execute undergrounding. So we'll be doing more undergrounding as this plan calls, and we are excited. You know, when we compare ourselves across other states and we say, what are they doing? They've undergrounded. And so that is part of our strategy.
Here in downtown Jackson, you've undergrounded.
Yes, we have.
And we appreciate that because our power doesn't go out when we have storms.
But you know, when we think about undergrounding, so undergrounding is just one part of the strategy, but there'll be other things that we'll be doing. So you saw trees.
Tree trimming.
Trees are the number one cause of outage. So we'll tree trim, and best practice is that you trim the same trees every 7 years. So you get in a cycle of every 7 years. A lot of trees in Michigan. I don't know. People have driven them, lots of trees. You know, as beautiful as we love when they change colors and come back, we do like those leaves to fall off those trees. But tree trimming is critical, and it's one of our things. Also, you saw in the video, right? The lineman in the video was doing a little proactive inspection and maintenance. That's part of our plan too, to do it before it breaks. It's cheaper to do it on straight time in the day versus the nighttime in the windiest conditions on overtime. So we're inspecting our system 50,000 miles, 25 each year. We'll see the system, entire system, once a year.
So you've been studying the weather,
Yes.
and what everyone thinks is that, yeah, it's more severe. The winds are stronger, there's more frequency of things like ice storms, and it's scientific fact.
Oh, yeah, you know, there was a point in time we would see 30 miles or even 40 mile per hour winds, and it was like, whoa. That's a lot of wind. Now we're getting upwards of over 65-mile-per-hour winds, right? And even if you think about August, 7 tornadoes in the state of Michigan. That was a lot of tornadoes that caused significant damage, not only in our area, but across the state. And so you think about that, we're building for that so that we can make sure we're putting up stronger poles and conductors to withstand that kind of wind speed. I know people say, hey, you're talking about hurricane force winds, but you know what? We're getting up in some cases on some days, some lower, like level 0 hurricane force winds.
So we've got a commitment. In 5 years, you want to be able to get everyone's power back on within 24 hours. That's a pretty substantial commitment.
Yeah, it's an aggressive plan. It is some of the most ambitious goals we've set in this company on our system. But here's what I know. It is possible for us to do. It's going to take time for us to get there. We have this 5-year plan we filed over a week ago now with the Michigan Public Service Commission. They'll evaluate, review the plan. We'll start executing this plan in partnership and agreement. And every year we have an opportunity to revisit the plan. And revisiting the plan means we'll check to make sure we're doing the right things. Do we need to adjust the plan? Is there new technology on the system that makes it cheaper and faster for us to do? So we've set the plan, but we'll revisit and update the plan every single year based on our progress and what we see the conditions.
One thing I think a lot of customers assume is that if the power goes out, that you know it. If my home's power goes out, oh, well, consumers knows. They know, they've got, they can tell. But that's not the case.
In some cases, but not all cases. And so what we are doing is putting more technology on the system so we can know. And so that'll be part of the plan as we're adding so we can see. And it'll be speed to when we can restore. That's part of that 24 hours. You know, right now and in history, a lot of the work that we do is we had to go look up at the lines and drive down the street here in Jackson to see if we could find where the problem was at. We're adding sensors to the line, which is a technology that will point right to the location where the fault or the errors happen on the system, and we can send a crew right there to fix it, and they don't have to go look for it. Talk about time saver.
Having more renewable energy like wind and solar, and I think to a much lesser extent hydro, does that provide the backbone to deliver the energy more reliably when we have those storms?
It does, but they still connect to the grid. So you still have to have grid connection. And so we need reliable and a resilient system so all of those systems can work.
And the other thing you want to be able to do within these 5 years in your reliability roadmap is not have any storm or event knock out more than 100,000 people. Because we've been up in 250,000 people.
Yes, we have. In August, we were up 250,000 people. And so if we build that system, we get less than 100,000 out. And, you know, I mentioned some of those things. When we harden, we underground, we inspect early, those things will be very important for us to achieve those goals. And proven, you know, this is research done by the Electric Research Institute around the United States. And there are other companies, this is proven work that will prove. And so that's why we stand on not only on our own research and assessing our system, but this is proven work from our benchmarking practices as well.
And it's not just like strong winds and summer storms. We've had ice storms.
Ice, yes. So we want to protect for ice as well. That was February, and actually drove around Jackson and saw us doing some pole replacements and just, I know it was tough here in Jackson, but I will tell you, I was on one of the crews here in Jackson. I don't know who the young lady was, but I just want to thank her. She brought up coffees to the crews, and I thought that was so nice because, you know, and why I talk about our coworkers, because just as it feels really bad to be without power, those coworkers often too are experiencing power outages. Yeah. They are away from their families because our heart is a heart to serve, and so they want to get there to serve and make sure customers get back up because they don't want to miss a holiday, they don't want to miss a meal, they don't want to miss a kid's game, they don't want to miss. And so we're all in this together so we can serve quickly. So whoever she was in Jackson, thank you so much because you brought coffee and they were super happy. So
That's
thank
nice. You. Yeah, I think all these people are our neighbors and
all
we appreciate
our neighbors.
that. also, when these things happen, you host events like you have meals and breakfast and you provide other, I think, refreshments and distractions for customers without power.
Yeah, you know, it's important for the communities that we serve that we show our heart of service, that we know it is inconvenient. You're home, you're without power, you're hungry. Maybe you were cooking a meal, you're thinking about the food in your fridge. And so we have a part that we have to do and play in that and show that we can serve and show up and offer some things to our communities.
Well, we'll look forward to those improvements during the rollout of Reliability Roadmap. And let's just hope we don't have those severe storms.
I know, right? But we have to be ready for them. We will be ready for them.
All right. Thanks for coming in today.
Thank you so much.
The Senior Vice President of Transformation and Engineering at Consumers Energy, Tonya Berry. A lot more